yeah, they're definitely just very supportive parents to me. Probably the most supportive parents I know.
Yeah, fair. Are you fighting for them, I guess, at Worlds then?
I mean, it sounds mean to say no, but I'm definitely fighting for myself first.
We are a few days away from the Worlds 2024 Swiss stage, and I am the presence of APA, the professional yapper from the LCS. And I mean, it's so good to finally meet you in real life. And I see that you've grown out your beard as well, so looking good.
Now,
yeah, I mean, pretty excited for Worlds. How do you feel? Because obviously, I mean, for you in general, like, it's been a lot of development in the last few years, right? You started all the way out from Ohio to Los Angeles to going to Korea and China and now Europe as well. So how do you feel being here in Berlin and being able to face all these teams soon at Worlds?
I mean, overall, it always feels good to be able to visit a new country. Thinking this is like the 4th country this year I visited.
Yeah.
So it's just overall just a cool experience, and I'm excited going into Worlds facing LNG for our first match.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of LNG, obviously it's a team with, I guess, a lot of drama, I guess, around Worlds because of the entire story with Scout. But how do you view this match unfolding for you guys in a few hours from now, even at this point? Are you excited to face them, and are you planning to send Scout back to China as well?
We've been reviewing a lot of their film and just prepping for them as much as we can. You get the most amount of prep for this match compared to any other Swiss match, because every other day it's just like day after day, day after day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just using this time to prep. I think we're doing our best to have a good analysis of them and then apply that to our meta read, and hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah. And do you think that momentum is a very important thing for you guys as well?
I think just in general, it's a very just in general, it feels so much better to start off 1-0.
Yeah.
It's like a sigh of relief almost than to start off 0-1.
Yeah.
So, it just I think for anybody, everybody wants to definitely start off 1-0 rather than 0-1.
Yeah, makes sense. And obviously also, I guess, for you, it would be pretty important, especially after the way the season ended for Team Liquid. I mean, everyone was talking about it, right? The minions, and I hope it's not too much of a PTSD or something for you guys. But how do you feel as well, like after losing in the LCS Finals, being able to now go to Worlds as well? And are you hoping that you're going to be able to redeem a bit like the end of the season with a better performance as well for Worlds in general?
So 2 things. I think the first thing, as I consider that the way we lost, just it used up all of our bad luck. So going into this World run, hopefully we get some luck on our side.
Yeah.
That's the first part. And then secondly, I was talking with Core about it, and this is the way I coped with it with Core, was no one's going to remember that we got 2nd place in LCS as long as we have a very solid Worlds run.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But FlyQuest, I mean, Whippo has been beating you a bit in the yapping game lately as well. I mean, is there a bit of rivalry as well there against FlyQuest and Whippo?
I mean, definitely against FlyQuest, not specifically Bwipo,
Yeah.
but definitely FlyQuest as an org. I think for this year they've been our biggest rival as a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that aside, I mean, okay, so every year people will talk about EU versus NA, right? It's the storyline that it's the easy storyline that everyone likes to do, but I think people are getting a bit bored of it. So I just want to ask you instead, what do you think is the gap between TL and the Eastern teams as well? And do you think that this year could be maybe the year that you guys are able to make a deep run at Worlds and redeem, I guess, NA a bit as a whole? Because obviously, aside from LNG last year at quarterfinals, it's been a bit rough. EU as well, honestly, in the last few years. So do you think that it could be the year that finally we get some good results?
Well, I think our macro as a team is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, to me, the biggest thing will just be genuinely if we can survive laning phase versus all the good teams. All the Eastern teams are generally very, very good at squeezing out the last little bit of laning phase that you can get out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where most teams struggle, and I think for us, the laning phase was one of our strong assets and lane swaps and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confident if game goes mid game, we can keep up with them with how solid our macro is. But I'm just worried, maybe I get ran by Scout, or we face Bin and Impacts get ran a little bit, or just any of the really, really talented players, we might just lose out really hard to them in lane. So that's or I'm currently worried about. But like if we make it into mid game even, I'm very confident that we can take the game or the series or whatever and it ends up being.
Yeah, and I mean obviously everyone will talk about the game, and obviously Eastern teams are still very strong, but you have one advantage on your side though. You've done 14 years of wrestling and 8 years at football as well. So I mean I just want to ask as well, is there any players at Worlds that you think could take you on in wrestling, or are you just the best at Worlds right now?
There are some bigger guys here, like I mean the immediate one that comes to mind is like Bupo.
Yeah, and I mean also I want to comment, we saw Bin and Broken Blade are planning to have a arm wrestling match again, so I don't know, this kind of ties in.
I don't think I've seen Bin in person, so I'm not sure how big he is. But I know, like, for example, Chovy. Like, Chovy's actually, like, I think he's taller than me.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bigger guy, so I'm sure there are people that are bigger than me. But I'm sure, like, the physical aspect, I probably have some leverage on that.
Yeah, fair. I mean, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, that aside also, obviously I won't question you too much about the meta because I don't want to like leak strats or anything, but something that we've seen throughout the tournament so far is that Ziggs is obviously a very strong bot laner, and it's been banned as well. So how's it like affected you in general? Like, are you still like confident that you're going to be able to bring your A game and like have enough of a champion pool as well? Does it like change your way of seeing the game at all that Ziggs is getting banned?
I mean, Ziggs was getting banned even before he was like a strong bot laner anyways, so it doesn't really change much for me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, and I mean, aside from this, still, okay, so I know I said that like EU versus NA is kind of like the cheap narrative and stuff, but obviously there's Fnatic at Worlds. Yeah, I mean, there's Fnatic, and you already beat them twice, and I mean, you might be able to rematch them at Worlds even, but there's something that I managed to dig up though that was a bit surprising, is that I found an old tweet of yours from 2018 where you were actually supporting Fnatic. So I want to ask, like, what happened there? I can show it to you if you
can I see?
If you want. Yeah. It's just because I think it was a giveaway and you like tweeted like this all the way back from 2018.
Ever since I've watched, I've always just supported like the Western teams. Even before I was pro, when I was just playing solo queue just to play solo queue. So yeah, like whenever, just like literally all the international tournaments, I would just support all the Western teams to win. I'd be happy when like G2 would win, or be happy when Fnatic would win, or TL, or like any of the good Western teams. Yeah, so I mean, like basically when you face them, you have to smash them, but if they're the ones fighting, you still like have this sense of unity for them, pretty much. Yeah. All right, and just I guess in general, like, is there any specific opponents that you really want to face at Worlds this year? Specific mid laners?
Mid laners or teams?
I mean, I've yet to face any of the regional goats in actual matches. Like, I scrimmed them. Like, I've yet to face Caps in a match, I've yet to face Chovy in a match, and I've yet to face Knight in a match. So it'd be really fun to face them all on stage.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, is there like one of these in particular that you really like, is like maybe like the goal of this Worlds, like one player that you really want to take down out of them?
I mean, the most obvious one is like, if you can take down Chovy, like that's pretty cool. Yeah. He's pretty much touted as like one of, if not the best player in the world right now, so it'd be pretty cool to be able to take him down. Yeah, I mean, we saw Sniper say that he was in it for Zeus, right? In a way, I guess we could say that you are in it for Chovy as well, and you're trying to take him down. But yeah, I mean, only time will tell. Obviously, Genji is still a very strong team. I mean, do you think as well that like teams in the West are able to take on teams like Genji, On One Life, and BLG as well, because they seem like to be the top three kind of like of teams that everyone seem to think they're almost untouchable. So do you think that there's still like some teams that could bleed, I guess, and could be beaten by Western teams as well? Well, I think the narratives are always really fake. Like for NA, they said it was like top three, and then Cloud9 didn't even make Worlds. And then for Genji, it was, they're untouchable, and that they obviously lost finals. So I think the narratives are always way too overhyped. So they're definitely, you can definitely make them bleed. Yeah, like people saying that Pain Gaming is better than Cloud9. I mean, that one might be true. Well, I mean, there's only one way to know. We have to have a show match now next year
for the merged LCS leagues. But yeah, I think aside from this, just one last topic. Obviously, you're known for yapping and all chatting and stuff. So I just want to ask as well, because it's something that seems to be a bit missing from the league ecosystem in general. Like, do you think like players are a bit like afraid of being able to boast and like be able to flame each other like this? And is it something that in your eyes is missing a bit in esports in general?
I think most players just don't like it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will think it distracts from the game. So yeah, I mean, I think just most players don't like it. Being on a team with a whole bunch of Koreans, I think it's very like just not their culture. Like it's looked down upon to do that. I know when I was going into the T1 match at MSI, I was told from multiple people not to do it because it's like just a very rude thing to do to Koreans. So I think it's also just like some people don't like it, and then it's also like some of it's just like a cultural thing.
Yeah, fair enough. And just one last thing as well, last question that I have for you is that Spawn in recent interviews have been talking about the fact that he wants TL to become the G2 of NA. But at what point do you think you have to swap the narratives and have G2 try to become the TL of NA of EU instead?
I don't think we're at that point yet. I mean, G2 still did win like every regional title on them, and you know we lost our finals. Yeah. So, and then they've also done that for years. I think that's more so where he's getting at. Like I mean, for the longest time, G2 has been at least top 2 in EU, if not just straight up top 1. So I think that's more so where he's looking at, where you know TL under him and you know hopefully me is a top dog for as long as we can be. Yeah. So I think that's more where he's looking at. But I think at this point, G2 is still, you know, G2.
Yeah, they're still a pretty good team. And just to close off as well, obviously, I think I saw that your mom is very supportive of you, and you have like very supportive parents in general. So do you have like message for them as well? Because I don't know if they're going to be traveling for Worlds to see.
I think I'm not totally sure. But my mom has floated ideas of going to Paris, which would be quarters and semis.
So you have to make it.
So yeah, I'm not totally sure if they like booked tickets yet or anything. But I know that was, you know, they were just floating ideas around. But yeah, they're definitely just very supportive parents to me. Probably the most supportive parents I know.
Yeah, fair. Are you fighting for them, I guess, at Worlds then?
I mean, it sounds mean to say no, but I'm definitely fighting for myself first.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, it's still like part of it, but you have other goals as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in any case, thank you so much for talking with us today. It's always fun to talk with you. So I wish you the best of luck in the rest of the tournament in any case. And for viewers, just as a reminder, we are sponsored by Holy throughout this event. So use the code SE5 at checkout for €5 discount. And APA, again, thank you. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon.